today's warm-up, I want to encourage you to be self-directed and a little bit intuitive with what you choose to do. So of course, always do 5 minutes of cardio of choice. You can get creative with that. You can hop on a treadmill, but you can also play basketball with your child. You can turn on some dance music and just have a good time in your living room. Whatever is gonna raise your body temperature. After that 5 minutes of cardio, I want you to kind of tap into yourself and see, like, do you have any aches or pains that day? If you do, let's say like your knees are a little cranky, you might want to come down and do a little quad foam rolling. So remember, you can do kind of the typical back and forth, or the little trigger point release, bringing the foot up and down. And you can do that on different parts of the body. If you notice that you have a little neck pain, you might need to release your pecs. So maybe you would come down and get that foam roller kind of right into the armpit, chest area, and just do a little back and forth. And then for trigger point release, maybe just a little wax on, wax off motion with your hand. So kind of see what you need. And then in addition, I would look at your workout for the day, and especially the first lift, see what that is and prime that particular pattern with whatever mobility you prefer and the actual movement pattern. So for this program, pull and hinge are what we're focused on. So for pull, you might grab a band and you might just do some pulling. So you might pull the band apart. You might put the band on some kind of squat rack or pillar or doorway and do some face pulls. You might put the band overhead and do some pull down. So that would be priming the pattern. And then for the hip thrust, perhaps you would use a glute loop and kind of step into that. And you could do some little glute bridges, lying down on the floor, thinking knees out, low back in, and really squeezing the glutes to prime that movement for later on in the workout. Now keep in mind that you don't have to prime the whole workout at the top in the warm-up. You can think more of sort of like a global caretaking and maintenance that you want to do for your body, and it can come throughout the workout. So at the very beginning, you're just getting warmed up, you're just kind of tapping into how am I feeling, what do I need, do I need to release anything, do I need to kind of get that pattern in my brain. Then you go do the lift and you maybe do some warm-up sets. So if you're gonna do chin-ups, maybe at first you just hang from the bar and do some shrugs. If you're gonna do hip thrusts, maybe at first you only put 10 pounds on each side of the bar and you do really light, and then you add some more weight. Then you add some more weight. So that's kind of throughout the workout. Then after the working set, maybe you check your heart rate and realize, ooh, that was really challenging. I need to rest a little while. While you're resting, maybe you go back to the foam roller and you do a little bit of, could be directly related, like maybe you're foam rolling the glutes before you go back to hip thrust more. Maybe you're foam rolling the chest or the back before you go do more chin-ups. But keep in mind, it doesn't have to be exactly related to the lift, because again, you're thinking globally and intuitively, what are all the things that I should be taking care of in my body today? Like maybe you're feeling some neck pain and you kind of realize, oh, this isn't directly a pull, but it might help to do some of those isometric neck stretches that we learned when we were doing the plank challenge and our necks were all getting really tight, because chin-ups can cause neck tension too. So think of all the different things. Or if you're doing push-ups and you notice your wrists hurt, maybe you want to take some time in between sets, even if it's sets of hip thrusts, to do some wrist mobility and just rocking back and forth. So it doesn't always have to be perfectly linked or related to the movement, but just think intuitively, what have I not taken care of lately? And while your heart rate's coming down, while you're getting ready to do that next working set, just fit some of that in, whether it's some band work, whether it's some 90-90. We did this early on in the program where we came back and forth all the way through for hip mobility. We did those adductor rock backs, you might remember. We did some scorpions. This is a great one for kind of that chest area, opposite foot to opposite hand, back and forth. So just pick the things that feel good to you, that you feel like you need that day, not only in the warm-up, but throughout the workout as well. And I'm gonna leave it in your hands at that point. You do, of course, have all the other warm-ups from throughout the 12 months that you can click and follow along if you prefer that. But I really encourage you to tap into that inner wisdom and see what you need that particular day. Let's get started.